A quiet coastal town, wrapped in the steady rhythm of tides and the whisper of salt-laden winds, lived under the illusion that nothing extraordinary could ever happen there. Its narrow streets, weathered docks, and rows of modest houses painted a picture of simplicity, creating the kind of place where change felt like a rumor rather than a reality. Yet beneath this facade of calm, a sequence of events was waiting, one that would unravel the town's sense of security and pull a reluctant hero out of the shadows he had carefully built around himself. Gi-hun worked as a quiet, dependable mechanic in a small garage on the edge of town. His days followed a predictable pattern: the metallic ring of tools, the scent of engine oil, and the steady conversations of local residents who trusted him blindly. His hands were skillful but calloused, and his face carried the peaceful expression of someone who wanted nothing more than to be left alone. Few knew that his calm demeanor was not born from simplicity, but from a deliberate retreat. Years earlier, Gi-hun had walked away from a life of violence, an elite government operatives whose skills were honed in secrecy and buried under layers of classified missions. When he vanished from that world, only a handful of powerful people knew the truth. His quiet routine shattered the moment a frightened teenager named Lily stumbled into his garage one stormy afternoon. Her clothes were soaked, her breath ragged, and her eyes filled with terror. Gi-hun sensed danger immediately. The careful instincts he had spent years suppressing surged back. Before she uttered a coherent explanation, a pair of black SUVs rolled into town, their engines rumbling ominously. They did not belong to locals. The men who stepped out moved with the precision of trained hunters. Lily unknowingly carried something dangerous: an encrypted drive containing evidence that implicated a corrupt corporation in illegal operations, including trafficking, political espionage, and offshore weapons development. She had stolen it after overhearing something she was never meant to hear. Unsure where to go, she fled blindly until fate brought her to the one man capable of protecting her, Bon. Gi-hun initially resisted the pull of his former life. He had promised himself that the violence he once wielded so easily would never resurface. But when he saw those relentless pursuers and realized Lily's life hung in the balance, he understood that he had no choice. His calm existence dissolved as he slipped back into the persona he had buried: precise, calculating, and dangerous. The hunters swept through the town with intimidating force, questioning locals, blocking roads, and watching everything with cold intent. They underestimated the quiet mechanic, unaware that he had once outmaneuvered far deadlier adversaries. Using his garage as a temporary refuge, Gi-hun examined the drive and confirmed that its contents could topple powerful figures. The men chasing Lily would stop at nothing to retrieve it. Manned with no time to spare, Gi-hun led Lily into the dense forest surrounding the town. Heavy rain battered the trees as they moved through winding trails. Only he knew how to navigate. He understood the terrain well enough to vanish within it. The forest became a shield, but the threat was unrelenting. Drones hummed above the canopy, and laser sights occasionally flickered through the fog. Gi-hun guided Lily to an abandoned outpost he had once prepared as a contingency during his operative years. Inside, he found remnants of old supplies that he had never expected to use again. He assessed the situation calmly, analyzing their options. Running forever was impossible. Confronting the threat was inevitable. Meanwhile, the corporation strike team spread misinformation across the region, painting Lily as a dangerous cybercriminal. Media outlets repeated the false narrative, turning public opinion against her. Gi-hun realized the only way to protect her was to expose the truth, something that required a dangerous infiltration into the corporation's main communication hub. The next day, the hunters located the outpost. Gi-hun anticipated this and used a series of traps to slow them down. Explosions echoed through the forest, sending birds scattering as smoke rose in curling plumes. Using the chaos as cover, he and Lily slipped away toward the neighboring industrial district, where the corporation kept its gone. Nightfall cloaked the facility in shadows. Its towering structures gleamed under artificial lights, guarded by motion sensors and heavily armed personnel. Ethan's mind shifted into the strategic mode he once used in high-risk missions. He guided Lily through service tunnels, crawling ducts, and maintenance shafts until they reached the core server room. Every step was calculated, every pause deliberate. Inside the chamber, Lily began the upload process. As she worked, Ethan monitored movement through surveillance screens. The strike team converged on their location faster than expected. He barricaded the doors, prepared makeshift defenses, and mentally rehearsed the sequence of maneuvers he would need to protect Lily long enough for the upload to finish. The facility shook as explosives breached the outer corridor. Armed operatives stormed in, but Ethan's precision overwhelmed them. His movements were fluid, efficient, and deadly. For the first time in years, he felt the old instincts return fully: sharp focus, cold clarity, and unwavering resolve. Each second was a battle for survival. Lily's hands trembled over the keyboard as the progress bar crept forward. The doors finally gave way as a wave of attackers poured in. Ethan engaged them with staggering speed, using shadows, angles, and silent takedowns to maintain control. Despite being outnumbered, his mastery in combat turned the narrow room into an arena of tactical brilliance. Lily shouted that the upload had finished just as backup generators flickered. The evidence streamed across global networks, reaching journalists, whistleblower groups, and government agencies simultaneously. Realizing the mission was accomplished, Ethan grabbed Lily and moved swiftly toward the emergency exit routes. Sirens wailed throughout the facility as internal systems detected the data breach. The corporation's influence began collapsing in real time. Their crimes became public knowledge within minutes. Ethan and Lily escaped through a maintenance tunnel that opened near the riverbank. Dawn glowed faintly on the horizon as they emerged, exhausted but victorious. The strike team, now lacking orders as their leaders faced arrest, scattered in confusion. Law enforcement soon arrived, following the trail of leaked evidence. In the following days, the town buzzed with astonishment as news unfolded. Lily was cleared of all accusations. The corporation's executives were arrested worldwide, and investigations spread like wildfire. Ethan watched silently as balance restored itself. Local residents, unaware of the full extent of his involvement, only sensed that he had helped protect a frightened young girl. Lily eventually left for a safer region, carrying gratitude she could never fully express. Ethan returned to his garage, picked up his tools, and resumed the quiet life he preferred. Yet something within him had shifted. He understood that peace was not the absence of danger, but the strength to confront it when necessary. The town resumed its normal rhythm, but whispers of the mysterious mechanic began circulating among those who had witnessed fragments of the chaos. Ethan ignored the rumors and focused on maintaining engines rather than dismantling threats. Though he longed for anonymity, he accepted that the shadows of his past would always linger. Still, as waves crashed gently against the shore and the familiar hum of the garage enveloped him, he felt a quiet assurance. He had regained control of his life once more, proving that even someone with a dark past could choose a path toward peace. And if danger ever returned, he knew he would rise again, not because he wanted to, but because sometimes the world needed someone who refused to stand aside when innocence was threatened. The deadly game continued with rising tension as the players faced the challenge of carving shapes out of fragile candy. A single crack meant instant elimination, and many collapsed under the pressure. Sang-woo completed his task with calculated calmness, while Song panicked and struggled, believing his time had come. Against all odds, he survived and rejoined the remaining participants. Only Chi players returned to the dorm, confirming how many lives had been lost. Banned food was served next, but the portions were intentionally small, sparking frustration among the players. A violent confrontation broke out when Jang attacked a man over the scarce meal and beat him to death in front of everyone. The atmosphere darkened further when a secret operation within the facility began to surface. A doctor hidden among the contestants was revealed to be harvesting organs from dead players with the assistance of corrupt guards. They removed organs before the bodies were cremated, and one guard in the control room deleted all evidence. None of this was authorized by the front man, and the conspirators operated in secrecy, exchanging information about upcoming games in return for the doctor's survival. The guards deliberately provided the players with less food, anticipating chaos and hoping weaker contestants would be eliminated during the inevitable fights. As lights were set to turn off in half an hour, Song-woo warned his team that more violence was coming and instructed them to build a barricade. Meanwhile, the doctor joined Jang's group and informed them of the next game. Once darkness engulfed the room, Jang and his followers unleashed brutality, attacking anyone in their path. A girl was killed, and Saibyok narrowly escaped death thanks to Song's intervention. Guards eventually restored order, revealing that only 80 participants remained. The next morning, the players were summoned for the third game and instructed to form teams of 10. Knowing the upcoming challenge, Jang gathered only strong men, refusing to take any women. Sang-woo assembled his own group, but lacked one person, forcing him to accept Mineo. The game turned out to be tug-of-war. Jang's team dominated easily, while Sang-woo's mixed group struggled. The old man used his lifetime experience to guide his team with strategy rather than strength. Through his instructions and the team's cooperation, they miraculously won. That night, the lights were set to go off again, and Sang-woo prepared his team for further attacks. They agreed to take turns, standing guard to avoid being ambushed. Meanwhile, tension rose within Jang's own group as he feared betrayal from the very men he had chosen for strength. In the hidden tunnels, the illicit organ harvesting continued. Guards numbered Arsurbad and Arsur-jol were assigned to deliver the harvested organs. Among them, Number Arsur-jol was actually a police officer in disguise infiltrating the facility in search of his missing brother. When he heard them refer to a corpse with only one kidney as a zombie, suspicion struck him. His brother also had a single kidney. As they carried the organs through the tunnels, the officer noticed hidden explosives placed throughout the passageway. Guard Arsurbad hinted that the entire facility would be destroyed once their work was done. His increasing suspicion made him question the disguised officer's identity and demanded to see his face. The officer revealed himself at gunpoint, interrogating him about the individual with one kidney. The guard revealed the person had been a girl and explained that all player data could be found in the leader's room. Once the officer got what he needed, he killed him. Meanwhile, the corrupt doctor, deprived of information about the next game for the first time, became furious. In desperation, he killed a guard and attempted to escape, but was chased to a playground area. Before the pursuing guard could kill him, the frontman intervened, eliminating both the guard and the doctor. Discovering the dead body of Number Arsurbad nearby, he realized an intruder was inside the facility. The infiltrating officer reached the frontman's room and discovered a hidden archive containing detailed records of all past contestants. To his shock, he found his brother listed as a previous winner, confirming his survival at least once. Before he could uncover more, the next game awaited the remaining players. For the fourth challenge, the contestants were instructed to choose a partner. Ji-young struggled to find one, as no one was willing to team up with her. Each pair received 10 marbles and learned that one partner had to take all the marbles from the other, using any non-violent strategy. Whoever failed would be killed. Sang-woo played with Ali using an odds and evens guessing format. Ali's honesty and intuition allowed him to win nearly all of Sang-woo's marbles, leaving Sang-woo with just one. Desperate to avoid death, Sang-woo manipulated Ali with false promises of teamwork and secretly replaced Ali's marbles with stones. After securing the real marbles, Sang-woo delivered them to the guard and walked away, leaving Ali to discover his betrayal too late. Elsewhere, the elderly player, wandered in confusion, and Song struggled to keep him focused. Although the old man initially won all of Song's marbles, his deteriorating memory caused him to forget his own choices. Song exploited this lapse and tricked him into giving back the marbles. However, the old man soon revealed that he had been fully aware of the deception, but pretended not to notice. Moved by the trust and emotional bond between them, Song eventually returned the final marble to him, sealing his own progression, but at emotional cost. Se-byok and Gi-hun faced a different kind of emotional battle. Their game involved throwing marbles toward a wall, with the closest toss winning. Se-byok's life and goals weighed heavy on her, especially with her younger brother waiting outside the facility. Gi-hun intentionally missed her throw, sacrificing herself so Se-byok could live. After her death, their bodies were removed, and the surviving players returned to the dorm. Jana's calm returned. Jang noticed Mineo still alive. Their shared past and bitter history came to light as she threatened him mysteriously. Meanwhile, the frontman discovered the infiltrator's ID card near a corpse, confirming the officer's presence inside the compound. Shortly after, he received word of the arriving VIPs. The elite guests were escorted to lavish rooms overlooking the arena, where they would enjoy the spectacle. The frontman reported their arrival to a mysterious superior, whose identity would be revealed later. The next day, the contestants lined up for the 5th game. They were instructed to choose a numbered bib from 1 to 16, determining the order in which they would face the challenge. Only the first and last number, forcing Song to decide between leading without knowing the game or risking not getting a turn at all. A desperate man chose the first number, leaving Song the last. Bond. They entered a large arena containing a suspended bridge of twin glass panels. Each step required choosing between tempered glass, which could hold weight, and regular glass, which would shatter instantly. With limited time, players advanced one by one, falling to their deaths with each wrong choice. Fear paralyzed Jang when he reached the front, refusing to move. But Mineo, seeking revenge for his earlier betrayal, forced her way to him. Staying true to her promise, she wrapped her arms around him and pulled both of them off the platform, ending their deadly bond. Among the remaining players was a man with experience working in a glass factory. His knowledge became crucial as he attempted to identify the tempered panels, offering the group a fleeting sense of hope as the deadly game continued. The final steps of the glass bridge test unfolded with rising desperation. One contestant, who had previously worked in a glass factory, used his knowledge to identify the tempered panels and guide the remaining players. Realizing someone had gained an unfair advantage, the frontman cut the power, plunging the room into darkness. Without visibility, the final jump became impossible. The group hesitated, time slipping away, until Sang-woo acted ruthlessly and pushed the knowledgeable man forward, ensuring his fall. With no other choice, Sang-woo to Song Sanbolde Peter Tangbai. Their other choice, Sang-woo. With no other choice, Sang-woo, Song, and Se-byok leaped across the last section. The explosion of shattered glass injured all three, with Se-byok suffering the worst wounds. Meanwhile, the infiltrating police officer continued to navigate the facility by assuming the role of a servant after eliminating one. During service, a masked VIP grew suspicious of him and demanded he reveal his face. The officer delayed by suggesting privacy, luring the VIP into another room. Once alone, he incapacitated the VIP, but his actions alerted the frontman. A pursuit followed through the hallways. eventually forcing the officer out toward the cliffs surrounding the island. He attempted to contact his department and send evidence, but the remote location killed the signal. Cornered at the cliff's edge, he refused to surrender, prompting the frontman to confront him directly. When the officer shot him in the shoulder, the frontman removed his mask, revealing his true identity, his own brother. Shock overtook the officer only moments before the frontman shot him, sending him falling into the waters below. Men back in the main compound, the remaining survivors were escorted to a formal dinner. Only 3 players remained: Song, Sang-woo, and the severely wounded Se-byuk. The elegant meal was overshadowed by the single steak knife placed before each contestant, a silent reminder that the night could turn deadly. Later, Song noticed Se-byuk weakening rapidly, her injury worsening as she struggled to stay conscious. She confessed her final wishes, including concern for her younger brother, whom she had left in an orphanage. Determined to help her, Song sought medical assistance, but upon returning, he discovered that Sang-woo had murdered her to secure his own survival. The next morning, the 2 remaining players were led to the arena for the last challenge, the Squid Game. The final battle demanded a brutal confrontation, echoing the violent childhood game. Song and Sang-woo clashed fiercely, driven by betrayal, desperation, and memories of their past friendship. The fight left Sang-woo gravely wounded. Although Song had the chance to win by force, he attempted to end the contest peacefully. Sang-woo, overwhelmed by guilt and defeat, ended his own life, granting Sagong victory. Afterward, the frontman personally acknowledged Song's unexpected choices, remarking on his performance before the ceremonial process began. Song was transported back to the mainland, carrying only the card to access his prize. When he finally checked the account, he found the enormous sum waiting for him. But upon returning home, he discovered that his mother had died alone during his absence. Many years passed, but Seong could not escape the trauma of the games. His wealth remained untouched, and his life had stagnated in grief. One day, a flower seller approached him and handed him a familiar card bearing the same symbol as before, along with an address. Driven by unresolved questions, Song visited the location. There, to his shock, he found player E still alive. The old man revealed the truth behind the games. He had company created them as entertainment for himself and wealthy clients, claiming boredom and disillusionment with his privileged life. He admitted he joined the games personally for the thrill, insisting that no participant had been forced to enter. Confessing he died, leaving Song with a burden heavier than the prize money, an understanding of the cruelty behind everything he had endured. Determined to do something meaningful, Song located Se-byuk's younger brother and placed him under the care of Sang-woo's mother, leaving her with money to support both children. Hoping to truly leave the darkness behind, he went to the airport to start a new life. However, he spotted the same mysterious recruiter who had first drawn him into the games. The man escaped, but Song managed to obtain another card. When he called the number, demanding answers, the voice on the other end warned him to board the plane if he valued his life. Instead of complying, Song turned around, refusing to walk away from the injustice he had witnessed, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his fight against the creators of the deadly games.